Welcome to the XrossroadZ Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? It's your man, Hunter Grand, your personal agent for change, making life easy, Barzini.
And I'm Fempreneur Extraordinaire and Tech Diva all day, Dre Renee.
And this is the Crossroads, where there's only one rule.
Be free to be you.
All right, we made it this time. Y'all, the bloopers, y'all. One day we're going to do a completely uncut. But welcome to the Valentine's Day episode, y'all. This is a love episode. You know, all the episodes are love and from love, mostly, love. About love. But this one is very interesting. So we are talking love, fantasy versus reality.
Yes. Yeah. And specifically what we thought love would be when we were younger versus how we have experienced it throughout these big ages.
I think y'all know where this is going. But you know, it's not all bad. I know there's a lot of happy couples, like, you know, you and #boo have done well. I don't think any relationship or marriage is without its bumps, but I think it's worth even asking what people think happiness is, you know, in love. Like what is a happy marriage? What is a happy relationship? What does that mean?
Right. And even if you're even chasing after happy, right? Like it might just be whatever you saw growing up and you just like, that's your model, right? Like, oh, this is just what I thought it was. So some people might have seen, you know, happy or what they thought was happy. And meanwhile, the parents are waiting for them to graduate so that they could go their separate ways. They may have seen, you know, some folks fight and bicker and argue and taken that into their relationships and maybe found like, oh, that's not how everybody gets down. You know, it doesn't always have to be volatile. So, you know, definitely our experiences can frame what we're looking for, how we may show up in these relationships. And then, you know, we allow ourselves to learn from the people that we're with, right? We can find out like, oh, there's different things out there.
Right.
So
what did you, when you were younger, and maybe we can go at different stages of younger, right? So it's kind of like when we were kids, when you hear love, because first of all, when we were kids, we're always told we don't know what love is, you know, and some of us believe that, and some of us like, yes, I do. And I don't tell kids that because I don't believe that. I think I told a parent one time that, you know, they were like, y'all, you know, you tell a kid that they don't know what love is until they say, I love you, Mom. Right. Right. And it's like, oh, now they know what love is, right? I thought you said they didn't know what love is. You know what I mean? So kids do know what love is. It's just their version of love is different, right? I venture to say as a child, it's I'm not gonna say it's more innocent, but it's just so much more pure. You know what I mean? It hasn't been tainted. It's what's amazing about a child's love, right? Is that you might reprimand a child, or a child can do wrong and they feel bad, you know, and oh, I hate you or whatever, right? They get in trouble, and then 10 minutes later, I'm sorry. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Like there's that accountability, there's that remorse, that empathy. I didn't mean it, Mom. I didn't mean it, or whoever, right? Or you know what I mean? Like they actually get hurt when they hurt you. Yes. You know what I mean? And somewhere along the way,
that part,
the F's stop being given, right?
Yeah. On both sides.
Yeah. And I just wonder what it would be like to receive and to be able to love that way as an adult, right? It's just the older you get, you don't forget. You know what I mean? And I think that memory comes into play. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think your memory is a huge barrier to love.
Mm. That's good.
You know,
That's
I
good.
it just would literally like hit. You know what I mean? I'm
Mhm.
freestyling right now, but when we
Mm.
think about it, our inability to love purely as a child does is our
Yeah.
memory. It's like
Mm.
I love you, or I want to love you like this, but then there was that one time when you did this,
Mm.
or that one time somebody else did this, and now I'm
Right.
afraid to love you
Right.
the way that I loved them because of what they did, and you might do the same thing,
Mm.
you know. And I don't know if it's whether I don't trust you not to do that, or I can't afford to take that chance to be hurt that way,
Mhm. Mhm.
which is still a level of mistrust,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I mean, that's the episode right there. Now,
And next time on the
we'll see y'all
Crossroads
next week.
Podcast. Yeah. Yeah. It's wrapped up in a nutshell.
Yeah,
In a
yeah,
nutshell. My
but
goodness. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just saying. So, like, what what do you remember as a child for your what you thought love was, or your version of love? Like, take me chronologically from
Mm.
what you can remember. From, hey, I was a child, teenager, young adult, and
Yeah.
then
Ooh. We
as
got
a,
to go
a
back.
married woman.
Back into time. Let's see. So as a child, I think there was conflict around um not necessarily love, but maybe marriage, because my parents got divorced when I was really young. So I don't remember us together as a unit. I only like it's like I pick up where we're fractured. So I think I had a lot of questions for several years about like how did we even get here? Now my love for them and their love for me never been a question, and I felt that very deeply. And so I think I always wanted to understand, like, well, why don't they love each other, right?
Mm,
Like they love me and I love them, and but
mm,
what happened here?
right.
And I didn't get that information until much later. So these are things that I kind of just grew up with. Now, both of my parents remarried, so I grew up in two sets of two-parent households. So I didn't grow up in a single parent household either way. So even though I had that question mark, I still saw what I thought, were healthy relationships and marriages. And then my grandparents were married until my grandfather passed away. So I had models of it. As a little kid, I think I remember butterflies and like,
Mhm,
oh, you like this little boy and pushing on the swings and all these types of things, and having crushes. I don't know if I equated anything to love, but definitely like liking someone and having them like you, and wanting to be liked,
mhm,
that type of thing, paying attention to some of the things that the boys may have found attractive versus maybe not. So at that time, and when I say I was a tomboy, more like I was very athletic. Like I played sports, I hung out, like I wasn't afraid to, run, jump.
mhm,
I got a couple of scars that I can look back on, like, oh, yep, that happened playing softball, that happened playing
mhm,
basketball, that kind of thing. So very much never, I don't think I ever considered myself or was considered one of the boys, but I think, like I was closer to them in that way because, I played sports until I think I would say like, yeah, I was getting ready to go to high school, it shifted a little bit. And I think in junior high, now middle school for everybody else, but in
right.
junior In junior high, I think that was when I first, would say that I felt what I thought, was love, and experiencing heartbreak from
Mm,
that. And, just being like, you just think the world is going to crumble down on your head. Like, it is
mhm,
over. I'll never recover from this. And it's so crazy how many times that repeated itself, right? Like, it may not have been as soul crushing, but you continue to feel like, I'm never going to get past this. And each time, you absolutely do. So, junior high school, a little more, hand holding, you get your first kiss or what have you, or real kiss, I guess. And then we spent a lot of time at church, like we were church kids.
mhm.
So,
Well, them church relationships be going, boy.
honey, and,
Your
gotta
parents
listen
think
to
you
your
getting the
parents.
like
Yeah.
your relationship with God is really growing. Uh-huh. Yeah.
You got you gotta listen to, your parents who are trying to instill, especially like in a small nucleus like that, right? I mean, unless you go to a mega church, but most of us grew up in churches, or at least your youth department is small enough where
Mhm,
everybody knows, everybody, and how important it is to make it's important to make good decisions regardless, but particularly in that space, right? And we're
mhm.
talking about, making sure that you say chase and all these things, which I did until adulthood. So that wasn't the thing, but it was a major focus, right? And
Right.
so it was something that we were aware of that we weren't supposed to do. And so as you start feeling certain feelings, and particularly as a girl who, has guys that are pressuring, not like rapey, but
Mhm.
advancing, maybe is the, making advances
If you
and
really
trying to,
love me.
yeah, yeah, trying to navigate what that looks like, because right, I do believe I love you, and I think there was an instance in particular I could say, like my first love, like I did, but I was like, I don't know that I want to do that
Mhm.
to, express my love, because I was thinking about all the things that came with it. And then ultimately, the relationship did not work for that reason, which caused more conflict for me as I grew up, because my goal was to stay a virgin until I got married. And so then I started to think, well, am I ever going to be in relationships or lasting relationships if I don't cross this line? Right. And so I
And
continued to,
nowadays, nope.
right.
Most of the time.
And for me, nope, too, right? I
Mhm,
continue to be in a cycle of, I was never short on somebody that was like interested, but there would be a moment in time, particularly as, you're getting 16, 17, 18, 19, it's like,
mhm.
right, by 18, 19, I went to college at 17.
Yeah.
So definitely, by then everybody was doing, maybe not
Everything.
everybody, but it was it was
Yeah,
a
it
lot
was, yeah.
going on. And so to still maintain that, and I just look back, because it wasn't for lack of trying. Like sometimes I just think about, I'm like, God really just, he had a hedge of protection around me, because just stuff just wouldn't work out. Like
Mhm.
I'd be trying to be a knucklehead, and it's just like, that's not for you. You're gonna be over here. So by the time that was introduced into the equation, I definitely was a full, I was an adult. And so I think the difference there, growing up, seeing my examples, and then the things we saw on TV, Cliff and Claire,
Right.
Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv, and Carl and Harriet, all those things. It's like, okay, it looked easy, right? Like,
Mhm.
we love each other, we have that spark, you know, we together. And it just was not easy, right? Like,
Right.
you could like someone, they could like you, if you get to the point of love, but then, they like somebody else, you know? You're not
Out
the
of
only,
nowhere. Yeah.
right.
You
And
ain't the only
so
one trying to be the
you're
only one.
not the only one. And just trying to navigate that, and what that feels like, and hold on to, you know, the parts of you that are important, like how far am I willing to go to be somebody's only one, when ultimately, you may not be their only one ever. Like there may not be anything that you can do to hold on to that. So, I had a couple of, serious, relationships to situationships, if you can, if situationships can be,
A
if
situationship
situationships can be
it is a
serious.
relationship. No, it is. But like sometimes, and I think we discount the impact and sometimes even the intent of situationships, right? Sometimes the circumstances around the association don't work, right? And I think we discount that because it's like, oh, you only want this. It's like, no, but like I feel things for you, but our lives don't match. Maybe, oh, I'm not financially stable, or we see like we just maybe know it won't ultimately work out, but that doesn't mean I don't feel something for this person beyond, and I think we just relegate situationships to merely physical encounters.
Well, I think that's because not a lot of communication happens, right? Like I would say like the biggest kind of heartbreak slash situationship, I got clarity around that and those kinds of, feelings and way after. But I feel like, okay, while I was chasing more or trying to see like, why can't this kind of work? Like there are these feelings, there are these experiences, there's, the expression of love on both sides, right? It's not like I'm just like pining after you and you're ignoring me, but it's like, it's not clicking. And we don't, I don't think maybe he wasn't able to express all of that then. Like looking back now, you just like, okay, you feel like you're super mature, but maybe, just lacking the language or the skill set to be able to share exactly what was going on. Or like, I love you, I like you. And I remember hearing, this a lot growing up, like, oh, you're the type of girl like I would want to marry. Like I was always like the down the line person. It was a problem always in the right now. And that confused me. It made me angry because I'm just like, well, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's in a lot of guys can attest to this. It is a real thing, right? There are certain girls or women that you just don't want to hurt. And in the process of trying not to hurt you, we hurt you, right? In a different way. It's because it's like, I'm here. I'm not there, right? This whole settle down. I'm coming into my own. There's so many options. There's a lot of women that I don't care about the way that I do you, and I'm gonna do to them what I could never do to you. So, but it's real, right? They're like, and I hate that I'm gonna say this out loud, but it's just real. We keep it real, right? There's just certain parts in your life where people are disposable. You know what I mean? It's like, if I lose you, it's not a loss to me. And sometimes you get older and you feel remorse by how you treated that person, because maybe that person is different now. But it's kind of like, I don't feel a way either way about you. Like,
yikes.
You know what I mean? Whereas with you, it'd be like, no, it would hurt if I hurt you, right? And sometimes like somebody really does like you, but the fear of messing up, the fear of hurting you, right? And a lot of men will take on the villain role in relationships, right? Like, oh, it's me, blah 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 blah, blah, right? Because we don't want to hurt you. I gotta find myself. I gotta right. When the reality is, I want to be out here smashing, and I can't do that with you, right? Or you're not doing this yet, and I really want to do it, so I'm gonna come up with something, so I can be out here. You know what I mean?
Well, shout out to all the gentlemen, and I wasn't calling you gentlemen at the time, but all that tried to spare me Some of you
Yeah.
actually did. Others of you, I kind of bumped my head before I figured it out. But it does make sense
Mhm.
later down the
Especially
line.
especially the ones that you still had eyes on, like,
Hmm.
or in contact with, and you saw who they were dealing with,
Right.
right? So how many can you say, like, what? Why are you messing with her? Because she was likely disposable to him. I'm not gonna say
Hmm.
disposable, like, to him, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to somebody else, she probably became whatever, but that's, yeah,
It's the nature of the
it's the
beast.
nature of the beast. And
It's the
then
nature of the beast.
hindsight, it's like, man, I should have just, right, because you go
Hmm.
out there and you leave all that carnage, and then you find out it ain't really nothing out there, right? But I do think a lot of people, I'm not gonna just say men, I think people need that experience to know that.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you had to bump your head, and now the person that you're with now, it's like, look, if you got somebody and it's rocky, but what's out there,
Yeah.
like dating today. What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for watching the Crossroads Podcast. Take 1 second, hit that subscribe button, and like the page so you can get alerts for any time we go live or drop new episodes. Hit that subscribe button. Dating today. If this ain't a lesson to, like, look, when you get somebody good,
Hang in there. Tie a
work
knot and hold
work it
on.
out. Look, fight as hard as you can to work it out, because these streets ain't about nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It ain't
That's
about
pretty
nothing, and
sad.
it's not getting better.
That's pretty sad. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it was a lot of that. It
Mhm.
was a lot of that, a lot of ups and downs, and felt like round and round. Which is why I felt like my life took a different turn. Like, okay, focus on career, focus on, friends and family. I was, very content being an aunt and godmother, and just, kind of living life, not because I didn't want things for myself, but I was just like, well, at a point I felt like my list was getting longer and longer of things I wasn't going to tolerate. And so it was just
Mhm.
like, okay, I've already done this. I'm not going to be older still dealing, with this. And so by the time I hooked up with #Boo, it was just like, okay, it's been tumultuous. I've done, yelling back and forth. I've done, being apathetic. I don't even care. I've run the gamut. And so I was just like, I just want to be with someone that knows they want to be with me, right? Doesn't even have to be, I mean, nothing's going to be perfect, but I don't want to have to guess. I want to be with somebody that's sure about me, that I'm sure about them. And I think the one thing that was really important that it shifted was just like focusing on enjoying the person I was with and not
Mhm.
trying to like build my life down the line. Now, of course, I'm still looking and like, does this look like something that could be long term? But, the here and now became very important. Like, who is this person? How are they showing up? How does he make me feel? How do I make him feel? How comfortable am I talking about things that maybe I may not talk to other people about. By the time we started dating, I was in my mid 30s. And so my body was already starting to change. I remember I experienced sciatica for the first time and I didn't know what it was. I just remember being in pain. I was like,
Mhm.
my
That booty
butt
cheek get to
hurts.
hurt.
Right. Like, imagine telling somebody.
Eh, Listen, I keep a tennis ball nearby, even
No,
to.
thank God. That's, I started going to the
Mhm.
chiropractor. I lost weight, walking. Like, there were things that to help that. But like at the time, I think I was probably at my heaviest weight. I was, definitely like, I don't know what's going on with
Mhm.
myself. And being able to share that and not feel like, judged or like, that was making me less than who I was. And so it was just like, oh, it was like a light bulb moment, like, oh, this is friendship plus,
Mhm.
right? Because and so friendship plus love and romance and all of that. And so then I was just like, okay, this is what we've been looking for, or trying, not necessarily looking for, but trying to create.
Mm-hmm.
And this was not something that needed to be created. And now in marriage, right? And a few years in at this point, 4+ years in, we've experienced some really hard things outside of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I have always heard, you've heard it, we've all heard it, right? Like marriages work. But I think I thought like, oh, it's work to be with this person. And for some people it is, or some stages of the marriage it is, because people change,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so you will have to work to continue to love, be attracted to, like various versions and iterations.
That like part. Oof.
Right? Of yourself and your partner, right? Because there may be some things you don't even like about you. So that part, yes. But the part that I did not understand, and I try to tell people who are, who ask for advice, not necessarily about their situation, but like, what is something that you would tell somebody, whatever. And I would say to factor in or consider, right, the work that is put on you when life happens, right? For us to experience parental loss, for us to experience, governmental shutdowns multiple times, right? Because who has been around multiple times, right? For us to experience just shifting as individuals. So married for 4 years, but we've been together 10 years. We're not the same people, right? Grief and, what that does, to you, any types of, praise God, like nobody's been ill, sick, like hospitalized, but even, episodes of pain, that pain does not make you feel good, right? It can alter how you show up. And so there are various things to navigate. Our backgrounds, as similar as there are some poignant differences. And so like, oh, I grew up like this. Oh, I grew, and then you go from being boyfriend and girlfriend to now living in the same house, merging all your things, right? 40 years old when I got married. I got things. I go literal and physical, baggage. There's things, okay, now we got to do storage. We got to do this. Student loans. I don't have student loans. You guys do, it's like, I came with all my SC debt, and he's like, I
went to state.
So there's a lot. And saying I do to what you don't know is coming. It's easy to say I do to what's in front of you.
Yeah.
But when you turn the corner and there's some stuff like, oh, and not that they're being deceitful, I'm not saying that, but the things that are to come that you don't know about, that you keep having to say I do to because of that, And
I'll add this. It's when we talk baggage, people always talk about the baggage that one brings and not thinking about the baggage you pick up along the way.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Too.
Like baggage ain't always old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. So as I was given the list, right, I definitely left, the past year and a half, right? With family stuff, it's like, or 2 years, right? Like that's not something that we knew was going to happen. And so it's like, oh, shoot. On both sides, being relied upon or maybe needed, or things happening, tragedy, stuff that, you going along your merry way and get smacked in the face. And then if it's your family, your expectation is like, have my back while I help my family. And then if it's, your in-laws, then you like, I got to have your back while you, and it's never convenient. Right? You could be going through your own stuff. You could, all of the things that are happening. And so, as you mentioned, like, knowing and nothing has happened, praise God, that made me feel like or want to do something else. I'm not saying that at all. However, understanding what is out there even if something did show up in that way, yes, you better stop and think real hard about like, how can we work this out? And the main thing that I would say um, about kind of then versus now is how important the unity is. Like being that, that cord and making sure that nothing gets between you and having the trust and having like the security. I'll say, this, whether, and my husband said to me, whether we've had disagreements, whether we're, in sad moments, whatever it is, he was like, you don't have to worry about me not being here. Like, even if I'm mad at you, I'm still your husband, you're still my wife, and we're going to get through whatever it is together. And when you have that, like, I'm fuming at you, but I know you're going to be here in the morning, right? Or I'm
not, I mean, that's plus minus.
Right? I mean, it kind of decreases the gravity of the situation. Like, well, not necessarily the gravity, but like, it makes you not necessarily want to be mad in the morning, right? Like if somebody says that to you while you in the middle of it, you just like,
depending on how mad I am, I'm like,
well, I'm talking about the general use. The general use.
She's like,
you gonna be mad regardless. And he's like that too, as a matter of fact. I think, saying something like that might prick a little bit, but depending on how he feel or whatever, he gonna ride that out till he finished with it. But but again, just having that kind of, he must know that we talking about him. He just texted me. Just knowing that you have that kind of assurance, right? It's like, okay, if we don't settle this today, and we're not the type to be mad at each other and, dragging stuff out for months and months anyway. But if it's not something that we handle today, you don't have to worry about in the morning, I'm not going to kiss you goodbye when I'm on my way to work. Or I'm not going to have dinner for you, but I'm going to be sitting up with a plate of food when you come in, like, hope you good, right? Like, we're not doing that. Like, this is the issue, but it's us versus the issue. And I've never experienced love like that. It's always been me versus you about whatever the thing is. And so for that much, I will say it has been quite a journey.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for it to get to that level of maturity as individuals, and then what that looks like together. So
that's a real interesting perspective, what you just said, the me versus you, like it's not a me versus you. Even though like it's literally you did this or I did this and we not vibing because of something one of us did or both of us did, but it's still like it's the unit is out of whack right now, and it's not me versus you. It's something is wrong with the unit, and we have to fix.
And we have to fix
the
it.
unit. Yeah.
Yep.
So
that's
that's real interesting. My chronology, is that a word? Did I make that up? I think that's a word.
That's
okay. I don't know. I think because I had a conversation with my dad where I told him I have a healthier perception of divorce than I do marriage, because that's what I saw. Right.
Yeah.
I've seen amicable divorce. Like him and my mom have been, best friends my whole life. I was 3 when they got divorced,
Yeah.
So I have some memories, but very few of my parents being together. I do, I have memories of seeing my dad date, and so some things rubbed off. Like he was always like very protective and affectionate and blah, 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 blah. Like he was an affectionate father as well, which has made me an affectionate person. That's like something that I need. And I always felt like that was part of love, right? Affection. And I'm trying to wait till marriage and waited very late, into the game. And I feel like at this age, I feel a lot differently about some of my decisions. And I think some of the things that I believe then don't hold as much weight right now. Like virginity doesn't hold as much weight with me at this age as it did then. you know. Part of me just wishes I did it earlier. You know what I mean? And got it out the way, and I could be right, wrong. I don't know what have happened, but I do know part of it was even when I was abstaining, I didn't have the access that I did when I started. And once I started, I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? And I had access. So, people start coming out the woodwork. It's, I'm Barzini. You were there. You, you know what I mean? And so that it changed things. And so now it's you experience certain things in life that you don't necessarily want to give up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For one person, like, and once I got out of that, I was in a very long relationship, 7 years. And when I got out of that relationship, it was kind of like, okay, world, what you got to offer? And I found out, you know what I mean? And I had a good time. Luckily I came out perceivably unscathed. If you turn me inside out, that may not be the case. But there's a lot that came with it. And now at this age, in our 40s, late 40s now, having never been married, have been single for a very long time, there's an element of fear when it comes to love. You know what I mean? Like, how do you operate this thing? Like, I am so out of practice. You get older and the way that I live my life is what I'm used to. So change and compromise scares me sometimes because I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to live how I live, and you come into it and get with this. You know what I mean? And I know that's not real life. Right. And so then it's so much because I have so much more information now.
Yeah.
Right. The things that I look at now, I didn't look at before. And I don't know if that's a help or a hindrance. Right. So sometimes it's like, nah, I can't deal with that because blah, 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 blah. And then you look up and you've been doing this for years.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so people think that, people love to call me picky. And I'm like, it's not that I'm picky. It's just there's that element of when you pick, that person has to pick you back, And so now it's like when you shoot your shot, you do that more selectively because it's like, I don't know if they would like me, or then when you go through life things, we talked about in a previous episode, I went through, unemployment and blah, blah, and that's a huge thing right now. I know so many people that, are looking for work and struggling to make ends meet. And especially as men, when we're in that state, we don't see ourselves as eligible for love. Right? Because this is what the world tells us. This is what social media tells us. Oh, if you ain't got this, and this, you need to be focused on yourself, not dating. Well, why? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes that's the thing that you need to, to stay afloat. I got a friend now. She called me yesterday. She got, just got hired after being off a year. And she was in a tumultuous relationship. But we were talking about how once the breakup was happening for a while, but once she was fully ready and able to let go and walk away from him, things started looking up. She started getting opportunities. You know what I mean? Because she was like, she has the opportunity to pour into herself and everything wasn't always about him, and without getting into details of that, like there was just a lot that was about him. And so you think about things like that, like when you attach your life to somebody, what direction are you two going? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you on the uptick and they on the downswing, right?
Yeah.
And mathematically, a negative times a positive is a negative.
Negative. Yeah.
Right? It's pulling you, like their value comes up and yours comes down. So, there's a lot of things, and I'm a thinker and often an overthinker. And so when you're in your head, right? And I wonder how much, because so much that all that purity is gone when you were young, and you were so focused on how you feel about this person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm with this person and they make me feel this thing,
Mhm.
and it's the feel and the feel, and I just want to and I never want to be away from you, and who's that talking to you, and I don't want to be like, you know what I mean, just all the gambit of feelings,
Yes.
and none of it is about logic. None of it. It's all feeling. And then you get older and logic and life kick in, and it's like, do
Mm.
we match, right? And then you get into those situations to where nothing about how I feel about this person matters, because this, you know what I mean, like, I can't merge my life with this person. I love you, I'm in love with you, like, however,
Mhm.
this thing, it won't allow us to be together. It could be distance, it could be you a criminal, it could be
Yeah.
our spiritual beliefs don't align, our political beliefs don't align, or whatever our deal breakers are, or you live this way, I live this way. Hey, you don't want a whole lot out of life. You're content where you are, and I want more, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so many things come into play, and we ain't even got to personalities yet. We ain't even got to how come you don't close the damn door when you use the bathroom? How come you don't, you know? Um,
Hi, roadies and road dogs. While you're enjoying this episode, don't forget to stop and subscribe to our Patreon. For just a few dollars a month, you'll have access to episodes 48 hours in advance, plus polls, live Q&A, and reaction videos. You'll also get access to a wonderful community. So go to the website on the screen or scan the QR code. And we can't wait to see you in our Patreon community.
it's a lot, and I because I'm such a sponge, a social sponge, an informational sponge,
Mm,
I allow that to be a hindrance sometimes. You know what I mean? And it's a
mm,
defense mechanism. It's like, you know what I mean? Because messing up in love is scary.
mm. Yeah.
And I've been hurt before, you know what I mean? And then it's not fun, but I think I'm more fearful of hurting someone than I am of being hurt, right? Nobody
Okay.
wants to be hurt, right?
No.
But it's I think, and I guess this is selfish as well. I think it hurts me more to hurt someone than it does to be hurt.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to experience that level of hurt. Like, if you hurt me, I can deal with that. I'm like, but the knowledge of hurting someone that I care about, like, I love you and I hurt you,
Mhm.
like, dang, I don't want to feel that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so it's a lot. It's a lot. And some of us don't, especially men, we don't express those type of things. We don't, we
No.
got to be impervious to pain. Like, oh, I ain't tripping. We got to be, and I'm fairly nonchalant in how I live my life. But these are real feelings and real things that, we experience. And so
Yes.
sometimes, and at some point, you just got to jump in and say, and shoot yourself like, hey, look, why don't me and you just do the same things together for for the rest of the time? Like, and it's almost to the point where you just say F it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, look, let's just try it out. I don't know. You got a whole lot that I don't like about you. Let's just try it anyway. You cool though.
You cool.
You cool though. I do like you, but yeah, it's a lot. And so I think I am I'm a recovering overthinker. I don't know if I'm recovering. I'm just an
Mhm.
overthinker. I think I just acknowledge it. And I'm trying not to put so much into those things, because I know that love isn't now what I thought it was then. You
Mm.
know, it
Yeah.
ain't just it's not just the feelings, and that's what we were able to operate on. Like, I like you, and that what else is there? I like you, right? And then, oh, I love you, and that's
Mhm.
all, because we didn't have the responsibilities that we have now. We didn't have the
Yeah.
thoughts and the experiences and the heartaches that we have now. And so that baggage, sad to say, comes with it. So yeah, you know,
Whew. It's something else. I like what you said about thinking and logic, right, being our reality
Mhm.
versus, the fantasy part, if you will, was really about feelings, because it was. I mean, even just that time and era, right? Like, the shows we watched, the movies we watched, the songs we grew up with, like everything was just, it just felt good. And
Yeah, and
and that's what we talk about
theme music
adulting.
about to play
Yeah.
to resolve your issue.
Yeah, the thing about adulting is that everything is feels so real and
Yeah,
heavy, and you have bills, and you have, a job, and you have navigating difficult, and when I say relationships, not necessarily your romantic relationship, but even, your work relationships, your friendships may start to shift and change because they are going through things too. And why aren't you here for me like you always was here for me? And they just trying to keep their head above water,
right.
or so there's all the things. When do we just get to chill? Like, I remember, and I was telling one of my other, close friends, like, I just remember when we used to, like, just hang out on the couch all weekend and watch TV. The
Mhm.
only thing that made us stop is go get something to eat or use the bathroom. But like, we would just be posted. Like, we can't even just do sleepovers.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can't just hang out and relax. Everything is a high pressure situation.
And but
Even
I
down to, and
wonder, yeah, but I wonder, does it have to be though? Right? Like when
I
you
mean,
say
it
we
doesn't
can't just
have to be, but I
because you say
think
we
that's
can't
just
have a
how we experience
sleepover,
it.
we have a sleepover, but why not? Like who said we can't do those things? Because
Well,
and I
people
was
don't have time. Some
do
people are in situations where, maybe their partner ain't really for all that, right?
Mhm.
Like, you can't be going to go
I
spend
mean,
the
I
night at.
get it, yeah, and I get it, but I mean, those are like experiential things, but I mean, just literally, and sometimes we choose things or we choose a life that doesn't allow that. And I was talking to somebody a couple of days ago where it's like we put so much pressure on today and we're like, oh, this, and the third. And like I talked about in the earlier episode when we kept using the word struggling, but we're literally today, we are literally in places that we prayed to be.
Oh,
Right when
absolutely.
we thought things were hard, and now that we're in the place that we prayed to be, we wish we can go back to where it wasn't.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
now, and
Where it
then
was
10 years
simpler.
from now, what is it going to be? Is it going to be, I wish I could go back to 2026 when things wasn't as hard as they are in
Probably,
2036?
because we live in a fallen world, and so, yeah, we'll just never be satisfied, and so, and I'm not trying to paint that picture, right? Like, even then, there's
Mhm.
good and bad, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we probably had more freedom and just were more carefree, but we was broke, right? Like, it's like, yeah,
But we didn't need much.
but
You know
we
what I
didn't.
mean?
That's true. Um, and now I just feel like I said, the level of responsibility for a lot of us. It's not everybody's reality, but for a lot of us, we are responsible for and to, a lot of things and people. And so, your mind is always going how one thing is going to impact something else, even something as simple nowadays for our age group, right? What we are going to eat today requires us
Just to
to put some
think.
thought into it, right? You can't just do however the spirit moves you every day, right? Maybe every now and again.
Four piece,
Or
four
God
wings,
bless
fries, and
those
a
with,
Coke. Uh-huh.
yeah, that can't ingest dairy. I just think that is the worst.
Listen,
It might not be the worst, but it feels like it's the worst.
but I've made a conscious decision when it comes to dairy. I am going to cut back, and I don't eat that much dairy, but I refuse to give up ice cream and cheese.
I can't even imagine. I can't. I'm like,
Like,
Lord,
what is life without ice cream
I or cheese.
or
I'm just
cheese?
like, what is happening? But for some people, whether it might be that, for others, it's something else, right? But it, it requires, like, life requires more of us now. Relationships
Mm,
require more of us. Work requires more of us. If you're raising children or taking care, like, it just, maybe it's a call to action. If you're saying, like, oh, does it have to be? Maybe it's a call for us to slow down to
mhm.
determine are we overdoing it? I mean, some things feel like they're out of our control sometimes, and maybe that's not the case, but it feels like, you're putting out fires, you're reacting to things almost all the time.
And maybe I'm just speaking from a privileged position when I say that, because
it could be. And since we're talking about love, that also can be a hurdle or a barrier in your relationships when you are so, busy responding to things or making things happen, just depending on what's going on in your professional life, or whatever's expected of you in your family situation. Like, you have to be very, very careful and very cognizant about not isolating your partner, right? Or making sure that you stay connected and together, because that can do a number on your relationship as well.
Yeah.
So
No,
I know we probably need to move into final thoughts. I always feel like
every time you have final thoughts,
wind up in a final thought.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, I'll say this. I'll just do a final thought. Because we're talking about love going into Valentine's Day, I'll start my final thought with I love you. Much of the times of old that we were even referring to in this episode, Dre and I, like, that was our life, right? Those sitting on the couch on the weekends, that was us, tacos and popcorn and VHS.
Yeah.
Like
VHS. Oh,
we were watching
God.
VHSs, like, I eventually got some DVDs, but
yes. But the ye olden days, right?
Ye olden days, you know what I'm saying? Floor console TV.
Yeah.
But it was still fun. And the crazy part is and if we all just really think about much of our fondest memories, it's during times when we thought we didn't have anything, right? And so it just really begs the question of, what is happiness? What truly is love? What does love entail? Because again, it was the strongest when we weren't worried about the stuff. And most of the baggage and everything else comes with the acquisition or the maintenance of stuff, all the stuff around us, trying to get the bag and blah, 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 or trying to please everybody else. And, we got to do this for this person, or this person needs this. And so often when we're with somebody, we forget each other. We pour ourselves into so many different facets of life that we forget each other. And it changes. And when you forget each other, you don't experience each other, and it changes how you feel, right? And so how do you get back to those things that you felt? It has to be experiential. You have to create time and experiences. So going into Valentine's Day, like, there's a million debates. Who's this holiday for? And should men get something? And what do you do? And is it just commercialization? Whatever you decide to do, and whomever you decide to do it with, make it experiential, right? It ain't about how much you spent. It ain't about what you bought, blah, 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 blah. Because you can spend money and still have a terrible time, right? Because the person that you're sitting across, you're not connecting with and not creating an experience. So make love this Valentine's Day and beyond about the experience of the person, whether you are traveling the world or just sitting on the couch, cuddled up, watching Law and Order, because we in our 40s, right? or watching crime dramas or true crime, because you watch it what she want to watch, right?
Hashtag Boo's like, should I be concerned?
Yeah.
Like,
or if you're lucky enough to watch the game, or some people are in the anime, whatever, or y'all binge watching a show together. You know what I mean? Those type of things. Like when you have that argument about the person watched the episode ahead without you, right? You're mad because you messed up the experience of us seeing this thing and reacting together, right? So connect with with whomever you're with. Like, listen, if things are going great, connect in that. If things are hard, connect in that, because you want to experience and come through them both together. You know what I mean? So make love the experience, and perhaps we can reach back into those things that we felt when we were younger and bring them into today, so that it's not just transactional and a list of things to do, right? And maybe I'll see you later. You know, and when I say see you later, I mean see you. Maybe I can experience you later. So that's my message, you know, about love. So y'all, we had another great time, you know. Happy Valentine's Day and the like. I hope everybody got somebody that you know, that can at least give a hug to, or buy a rose. Or...
Well, I know that #boo, for those of you who don't know, I'm a military spouse, and so he will be on a short assignment, so we will not be together on Valentine's Day. But to the love of my life, I love you, and I am proud of you. Thank you for your selfless service, and I'll be excited to see you when you get home.
All right. And to my boo to be, I don't know who you are. Somebody might get a phone call.
I mean, you know, some might happen. Some might happen.
What they say?
Okay, on the pre-show, he was talking about some steaks, so I might be knocking on his door on Valentine's. I'm gonna check first, make sure he ain't got no situations.
You know, and and I'm not gonna name no names. But there's a couple of individuals that likely watch this show. I still have not forgiven you for that Valentine's Day. I'll say I got a knock on the door on Valentine's Day in the middle of the Valentine's Day evening festivities. And I opened the door, and it's two women who I don't know, who are delivering gifts from somebody who I do know. Or eventually figured out who it was. And I'm like, and I'm like, no. It was no. That's not what it was. Yeah, that was about once I was able to like convince her, like, you know, they were fulfilling some obligations.
Right.
I was like, y'all couldn't have picked a better time for this. So
hilarious.
But yeah, happy Valentine's Day, y'all. And always, in closing, remember,
be free to be you.
We'll see y'all next week.
Next time.
This has been the XrossroadZ Podcast. And remember, be free to be you.